Next question's from Ben. He says, when figuring out your financial independence number, do you calculate inflation? For instance, if I need $40K per year now, should I assume I'll need $80K per year when I retire? I'm 37 years old and saving 25%.
How old was he again?
37.
Well, I mean, you're giving me a lot of one-word answer questions here. My simple answer is yes. Next question. No, I'm kidding. I already made that joke.
There's so much more that goes into it than that.
So, Ben, you were on to something. $40,000 today will not be the same thing that $40,000 in the future will be. $40,000 today will buy you X amount of doodads. In the future, $40,000 is probably going to buy some lower number of doodads in the future. So you have to, of course, factor that in and figure that in. We get so much flack about this when we talk about how do you become a millionaire. Brian had this. I forget his name. What was the guy's name? Your history teacher.
Oh, my economics teacher, Mr. Morrow.
Mr. Morrow. Brian had Mr. Morrow who told him how much would you have to save.
He said $100 a month.
$100 a month. It'll turn into $1 million. Well, so we start
like $90 a month.
Okay, we're getting lost here. The point I'm making is we talk about all the time how to get to $1 million. Be like, $1 million won't be worth anything, and da 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 da. While that's true, $1 million is still what you got to get to before you get to 2 million, before you get to 3 million, before you get to 4 million. But what matters is you have an understanding, Ben, that inflation is a real thing and the value of our dollars does erode. So when it comes to projecting out how much I need and what my future living expenses are and how big my portfolio is, inflation 100% has to be something that's factored in. So much so, Brian, that when we built the Know Your Number course, we built in inflation so that you can know. If you want to go check it out, learn.moneyguy.com, you can actually have an inflation assumption in there to determine what your future expenses based on today's dollars need to be. And we even toggled it so that you could choose, do I want it to be a super hyperinflationary environment or a low inflation environment? So that way you can create your 3D plan even around your inflation variable.
Here's what I think, because inflation is very, very important. But all the trolls out there who say, man, when this guy talks about prioritizing $1 million, doesn't he know in 30 years that $1 million is going to be nothing? Let me tell you my journey. $1 million when I was 16, 17 years old, when Mr. Morrow shared that with me, sounded like a lot of money. And here I am as a guy quickly approaching 50. $1 million is still a chunk of money, because here's what happens. When you reach the boiling point, and I would say, first $100,000 is a big achievement. Then you reach $500,000, and then you reach $1 million. What I find interesting, I see it all over social media, is people start hitting these milestones, first to 6 figures, and then when you cross 7 figures, it starts accelerating. And that is that boiling point, that critical mass point where your money's growing upon yourself. So yeah, prioritize getting to that $1 million, because I'll tell you what, my second million was a heck of a lot faster than that first million. And you're going to see that third million is going to be even faster. It's amazing what exponential growth will do. So I don't think there's anything wrong with getting excited about what $1 million, but yeah, take into account inflation. There is no doubt, and that's why we thought it was so valuable and so important, so that you could run different scenarios depending upon, because we just came out of an inflation environment of around 8%. Hopefully signs are indicating it's going down
a little bit.
But maybe you need to run a 2%, 3%, 6%. We've given you the option to kind of have some ability to have toggles there. Go check it out, learn.moneyguy.com. Know your number.